Pinky, big shout out.
Big shout out.
And with the rainbows and popcorn, Pinky is suggesting that Pinky is looking forward to this guy who does come and go on a rainbow. How he does it, the great Michael Snyder, everyone. The culture blaster, he's called.
Happy Friday to all.
Yes.
To you, Mark. To
Thank you.
Kim. To Albert. To Tony, wherever he is. To Kim's husband, working hard
David,
behind the scenes to, I don't know, put plugs in.
He's trying to, I guess, plug a leak, which is an internet leak.
Our tech kings are hard at work on the job. And by the way, congratulations. Not only did you break 20,000 subscribers this week, but the surge continues. You're above 23 now, I think. And
23,000 subscribed. It's really
rolling.
If
you look at the pie chart or one of those like graphs, it looks like there's a big jack up as suddenly it's a mountain of
the
subscribers.
hockey stick graph. You're absolutely right.
I am totally thrilled. And of course, I'm also thrilled about my 49ers being in the Super Bowl. The tension was so massive. And by the way, for the Super Bowl, I am introducing at the party a special cocktail, the Coachella Tenuta Spritzer, which is kind of a liquid speedball that honors both of your major sponsors.
Thank you very much.
It's going to be. Oh, I'm telling you, I've road tested this thing.
Coachella Tenuta Speedball.
Spritzer. The Spritzer is great.
Sorry.
Liquid speedball.
It's a liquid
spritzer.
speedball spritzer. Okay.
By the way, I'm really excited about the confused maggots who are going to tune in to CBS on Sunday, expecting to see the Super Bowl, a week early, and sneer at Taylor Swift for 30 seconds when she's on screen. And they're going to be in a tizzy because it's the Grammys, and Taylor is going to be all over their screen.
No, that's right.
You won't be able to escape Taylor Swift on CBS this coming Sunday.
The actual Super Bowl is a week from Sunday.
A week, and I hear that CBS, since they're covering it, are forcing the Grammys, since they're also doing the Grammys, to add a category, Best Nip Slip at a halftime show. And I guess it's in retrospect or something. I don't know how it's going to work.
All right. Michael, can we get on to the movies, please? Although I appreciate all this topical material.
Well, how can you call it topical material when I live and breathe the 49ers, and
true.
I'm so thrilled about there. We'll talk about that if we have a little time at the end. But let's talk about movies. There are moments of inspiration and jaw-dropping action sequences, one in particular that was so cool. And there's gorgeous money on the screen art direction and surprising turns and some high-grade actors doing what they do. But Argylle, which is the latest spy spoof from director Matthew Vaughn of the similarly jocular Kingsman franchise.
Joculars are doing
as well as Kick-Ass, Stardust, and his first and still best movie, Layer Cake, is so chaotic. This movie, Argylle, is so chaotic and a little too clever for its own good and a bit too long at 2 hours and 20 minutes that I was pretty drained by the end. Other than exhilarated. And the initial premise here in Argylle is that this kind of nerdy but cute cat fancier named Ellie Conway, and portrayed by Bryce Dallas Howard, is one of the most successful authors of spy novels in the world. And her hero, Agent Argylle, portrayed by the strong-jawed Henry Superman Cavill in what appears to be Ellie's musings, is a James Bond-level pop culture icon. So she's a big deal.
All right.
Anyway, her novels are somehow depicting real activities in the global espionage community, things that should be top secret, hush-hush, and might compromise those shadowy conflicts when revealed. So Ellie becomes a target of good guys and bad guys, and who really knows what side anyone's on? And that's one of the aspects of this film that is engaging. So there is so much promise to the first 45 minutes that gets goosed in a good way by the first couple of unexpected plot twists, that the increasingly weird payoffs that don't really pay off start to disappoint until another loony hyper-action sequence draws you in again. And the cast is A-list or A- at worst. The always awesome Sam Rockwell, who, by the way, for a brief time was a Russian Hill neighbor. His dad had a condo, and I'd see him at the Royal Ground Cafe.
I didn't know that. How about that?
Sam Rockwell would be reading scripts and chatting with the
Did he know that he was right alongside within speaking distance to the Culture Blaster?
I was just another guy in the cafe, and I would
my
nod
goodness,
at him
Michael.
in recognition, and he would nod back. He didn't do pistol fingers, which I'm glad.
Yeah.
It's so L.A. We're in San Francisco at the time.
Right.
And I've met him on a couple of occasions and said, dude, we are both Royal Ground habitués.
Oh, you have?
He
Oh,
says,
you
yeah,
have.
I
Okay.
love it. Yeah, I thought you looked. I thought you looked familiar to me. Anyway, the great Sam Rockwell plays an agent who may or may not have Ellie's well-being at heart. John Cena plays Argyle's partner in the field. Catherine O'Hara plays Ellie's mom, and Bryan Cranston plays the head of a secret organization. But which one and what side are they on? Plus, you get Samuel L. Jackson and Sophia Boutella, who were villains in Vaughn's first Kingsman movie, although they may or may not be villains here. And you even get Oscar-winning actress and singer Ariana DeBose, and in a small role, singer Dua Lipa. Sounds great. Yeah. And you get these crazy needle drops, Mark. There was a sequence, and here's another San Francisco reference, a sequence using a track that I adore. You know, and I have broad taste, punk to classical and whatever, but this is a song I adore from the 80s by a San Francisco electronic musician and producer named Patrick Cowley with Sylvester on vocals, a song called Do You Want to Funk? And the action sequence, it just pops off the screen, and you're so excited. It's early in the movie.
I see, yeah.
And then,
but it falters. You're saying it falters.
I am. The whole doesn't live up to the sum of the parts, making this one of the least of Vaughn's filmography.
Wow, it's too bad. I mean, it sounds like there's so many, even people in the chat are saying, I'm going to see the movie just because I love the cast.
I will give Argyle a mulligan, despite its unwieldy execution, because it's the sort of stuff I enjoy watching, you know, in the same way that I will gorge on mediocre spaghetti, since pasta is my favorite dish.
I see.
Argyle, a tentative, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, it's in theaters.
What else do you have?
Well, let's move to the indie realm, because, you know, I like to cover the
you really
like to
do.
cover the
You're
entire
Mr. Indie.
topography. Suncoast is a very well acted, occasionally and genuinely moving indie drama that folds a coming of age story and a terminal illness weepy into the real-life events surrounding the famous Terry Schiavo end-of-life case in 2005 at the Florida facility where Schiavo was under medical care. In Suncoast, teenaged Doris, played by Nico Parker, who, by the way, was one of the few good things about Disney's live-action Dumbo, the remake they did, she has been assisting her embattled, embittered, hard-nosed mother, Christine, played by Laura Linney, so we're talking about star power there, or at least acting chops, as they take care of Doris's totally incapacitated brother. And when they move the brother into a hospice, it's the same medical center where the 15 years vegetative Schiavo is being housed, as the legal case involving her right to death rages in a nearby courthouse. So whenever Doris and Christine go to the facility to sit by the brother's bedside, they have to navigate the demonstrators who are outside the building and protesting the plan by Schiavo's husband to turn off his wife's feeding tube and thereby let her die. And there's more. Doris is enrolled in a local private school that her mother can barely afford, and Doris is trying to fit in with her much richer classmates, one of whom is a guy that she fancies and who seems to like her. So Suncoast has a dying brother, a frazzled mom, potential class conflict, and high school romance. Director Laura Chin, who based her script on personal experience, could have titled this, I don't know, Teens of Endearment. And, you know, thankfully she didn't. Suncoast is poignant and never saccharine. Parker is so fresh and believable as Doris. Linney is, of course, up to her usual standards of excellence as Christine. And as a bonus, you get the genial Woody Harrelson as a sympathetic pro-life activist who befriends Doris. There's also a cameo by Matt Walsh from Veep as one of Doris's teachers. You know, it's good. It's solid. It is in theaters this weekend, and it will be streaming next Friday on Hulu.
Oh, wow.
Which might be the way to go for Suncoast.
Wow. Saccharin's a ding word.
Sure it is.
Okay, good deal.
Like Chin's generally satisfying Suncoast, Scrambled is a very solid comedy from a promising female filmmaker, in this case, Leah McKendrick, who is the screenwriter, the director, and the star of the project as well. Sisters are indeed doing it for themselves in movies and TV these days, and sometimes with impressive results. Scrambled is about Nellie, a 30-something single gal whose friends are all getting married or having babies, or both, while she is enduring a parade of crappy dates. To make matters worse, Nellie's dad, played by the always welcome Clancy Brown, excuse me, wants to be a grandfather. Her mom bemoans Nellie's breakup with a guy who seemed like the one, and her brother is a successful executive who likes busting Nellie's chops. And all the while, Nellie knows that her biological clock is ticking. The solution? Freeze whatever eggs her body can produce so she has the option to be a mother down the road with or without a partner. But the procedure to get viable eggs generated and extracted is no visit to a hen house. And yes, the eggs are central to a very few holds barred comedy that's titled Scrambled. In addition to Brown, familiar faces in the ensemble include current SNL cast member Ego Nwodim as Nellie's best friend, and Yvonne Strahovski and June Diane Raphael as other peers. Ultimately, it's McKendrick as Nellie, her snarky script, and her assured direction that makes Scrambled Fly. Scrambled Fly.
I get it. Now,
it's in theaters.
You
this
like
weekend.
it. It's a comedy. And
I thought it was good.
Is it a ha-ha comedy or just a smile comedy?
It's a wry comedy where you may laugh out loud once or twice. Those are both good. I got something better. How about another movie that was written and directed by a woman? It's the XX chromosome trifecta today, I'm telling you, buddy. And this one, How to Have Sex, is the best of the three. In fact, it's one of the best films I've seen this year.
Wow.
With the caveat that it actually was released last year in the UK to sufficient acclaim that it has garnered a number of BAFTA nominations. That's the British Oscar, including one for first-time filmmaker Molly Manning Walker. Its provocative title aside, How to Have Sex follows a trio of British teenage girls, besties Tara, Sky, and M, on what looks like the European equivalent of spring break, but is a pre-college summer holiday getaway to Greece. So the three friends are looking to party hard and to get laid, especially Tara, who is the only virgin of the group. Throughout the trim 98 minutes of How to Have Sex, they come off as painfully real people brought to vivid life by breakout actress Mia McKenna-Bruce, who plays Tara, Lara Peake as Sky, and Enya Lewis as M. They frolic in the Mediterranean. They flirt with their fellow vacationers by the pool at the hotel. They get wild at outdoor raves. And yes, they have sex on the beach and in hotel rooms, but it's not ridiculously explicit.
Well, Albert, that's
as they share secrets and search for what the Brits used to call the old rumpy pumpy.
Albert, thank you.
They also await results from their final exams, which is, a bit of a plot point. So Molly Manning Walker impressed the hell out of me with this naturalistic script of hers and assured direction, all of which resulted in a cinema verite vibe. It's one of those you are there almost, it has a documentary feel.
Wow.
And that feeling of eavesdropping on actual adolescents at play, specifically girlfriends, being privy to their pain and joy is a remarkable accomplishment, and there is nothing exploitive about it. I am extremely eager to see what Walker does next, and the same goes for McKenna-Bruce, whose ability to convey Tara's ever-changing moods is a marvel. Her eyes speaking volumes. I mean, this is a
wow.
This kid's
You really
a find.
like this, yeah?
It's in select theaters and it's going to play well at home too. But if you want to support rising filmmakers and what have you, these three movies are solid. And
So I'm sorry. So How to Have Sex is in theaters and also will be streaming soon.
it eventually will be streaming. It is in select theaters now, and as Dave Letterman used to say, I hope to God your theater is selected.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Okay, Mads Mikkelsen, the Great Dane himself, as in Great Danish actor. He's not a dog. He's a star. He triumphs again in The Promised Land, not to be confused with the Bruce Springsteen or Chuck Berry songs, or any other movie with Promised Land in the title. The Promised Land, from director and co-screenwriter Nikolai Arcel, is an historical drama set in 18th century Denmark, and it concerns the struggle of the brave and resourceful Captain Ludvig Kallen, an impoverished war hero, to turn a barren chunk of land bequeathed to him by the King of Denmark into a thriving colony that can produce crops. And
Bequeathed is a Denmark.
and thereby earn Kallen title. He'd like, some kind of aristocratic title. So Colin finds unexpected allies to help him till the land and create a community, but he has an adversary. The local nobleman, De Schinkel, it's De Schinkel, that's his name. These Danish names, it's amazing I can even say Mads Mikkelsen. Anyway, so De Schinkel is as harsh and pitiless as the location, and the conflict is tense and brutal. And you know what? It has the sweep of a classic American frontier film. One of those, challenge the lands, Westward Ho movies. Arcel has made the Danish equivalent of a first-rate John Ford Western. And with Mikkelsen, he has the perfect contemporary actor to embody a man of courage and honor under duress, one worthy of the promised land in all its stark beauty. Mikkelsen as the Nordic John Wayne, right? Sure, partner. I think so. Anyway, it's in select theaters.
Duress is a dingle. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. You want to wrap things up on the movie side?
I sure do. I want to wrap things up all the way around, Michael. You're over your time.
Let's deal with this here. The gorgeous and thoroughly original 2017 Oscar-nominated animated movie Loving Vincent, about the immediate aftermath of the tragic life of Impressionist artist Vincent van Gogh, was not quite like anything I'd ever seen before, made by the international husband and wife team of England's Hugh Welchman and Poland's Dorita Kobila. It was touted as the first fully painted movie insofar as each one of the 65,000 frames was in essence a painting on canvas. And I believe it used a variation of rotoscoping, which is a venerable cinematic technique that uses real actors on film.
Venerable.
As the template for the finished animated product. So the Welchmans have
So they did it. Let me just understand this. So they did a live action.
They filmed something, and then they take each cell and make a painting of
And what was that movie called?
It was called Loving Vincent, and it's remarkable and beautiful.
Wow.
So they finally followed up on Loving Vincent with The Peasants, which is another spectacularly beautiful movie that translates film of live actors into a fully painted animated feature. The Peasants, with script and direction by the Welchmans, is based on a well-loved Polish novel of the same name, released in the early 1900s. The plot concerns a young woman trying to have her life and live it the way she wants to live it in a late 19th century Polish village, while the repressive and inescapable strictures of society in that particular enclave conspire to crush her soul and spirit. It doesn't help that she's expected to marry at an early age. The richest farmer in the area and a few other local men desire her, and she's in love with the farmer's married son. Love triangle, anybody? It's more like, a love trapezoid, and one with danger and problems at many, many turns, since all of that intrigue amid rural trappings is depicted with such visual splendor. You'd expect The Peasants to blow you away, and its tale of an oppressed young woman has resonance today, but you're kind of awaiting the inevitable, and you can get so caught up in the pulsing beauty of the animation that it sometimes seems at odds with the performances that underpin it. Still, The Welchmans dazzled me again, and as an animated movie and as an aficionado of animated movies, I recommend The Peasants, which is currently in theaters.
Wow, very impressive. Strictures, enclave, and resonance, all ding words.
Quick TV update?
Very quickly, sir.
Okay, Feud, Capote versus the Swans started this week. It's on FX Hulu. I've watched the first episode, and I kind of got a kick out of it, and it feels like guilty pleasure stuff.
Tell everybody what it is.
It's a series about the contentious relationship that developed between the noted author and high society, regular, a guy who kind of sucked up to high society, Truman Capote, a tremendous author, a legend, and the wealthy New York City socialites who embraced him, only to be, get your dinger already, pilloried in his unfinished novel, Answered Prayers. Capote is played by the great British actor Tom Hollander. He's wonderful. And the so-called swans are played by the likes of, here we go, Naomi Watts, Jessica Lange, Demi Moore, Diane Lane, Callista Flockhart, Chloe Sevigny, and Molly Ringwald. Gus Van Sant directed, and it was produced by Ryan Murphy of Glee, American Horror Story, and fellow Travelers fame. And as I said, it's on FX Hulu, but I'm watching, and I think, wait, wasn't this originally made for Bravo under the name The Real Rich Bitches of Manhattan? Maybe, maybe not. Anyway.
Dude, Capote versus the Swans on Hulu. Michael says it's a great sort of guilty pleasure.
I thought so.
Yeah. He liked The Peasants from the creators of Loving Vincent. Does The Peasants have that same style with the animation?
I think I said that over the course of the...
No, I know, but you said a lot, and after a while I can't follow it. That's why I had to come back and ask you about it.
That's just some sad stuff. It's too much to do to Vineyard's Wine.
Why are you yelling?
All right. So it is the animated thing. It sounded really interesting.
It is. In its way.
The Promised Land, Mads Mikkelsen's 18th century Denmark offering that felt a little like a John Wayne throwback movie. By the way, our audience, very experienced in many different areas, Doug says Wayne would address certain people as padre as opposed to podna. Sometimes you say partner, sometimes you say partner.
When I'm on the Dude Ranch, I use the phrase "hi, partner."
Partner, I see. Okay. Anyway, that's the story on Mads Mikkelsen. He said it was okay.
No, I thought it was very good.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm sorry, I lost it again in the.
You're losing the thread.
Well, it's a Titanic. What am I trying to say?
We exploded with the.
We list to one side with all of the descriptions. All right.
Yeah.
So Mads Mikkelsen's The Promised Land he likes, and again The Peasants he likes, and he also likes Feud Capote versus the Swans.
For different reasons, of course.
Yes. Okay. Now I will continue with How to Have Sex, which is the British teenage film that plays a little like almost a docu. It feels almost like a documentary. It's a verite kind of style.
It is, but it's beautifully done. It's actually my big pick of all these films today.
Pre-college summer getaway, painfully real, and it's in theaters, and it's already won a BAFTA. I believe.
Well, no, it's been nominated for a number of BAFTAs.
Okay. Scrambled is the. Is it a coming of age comma?
No, that's the other movie.
That's the other one. Sweat Scrambled is the one that she wants to have babies, so she freezes her eggs.
Can you come of age in your mid-30s? I guess you can.
Leah McKendrick.
Yeah.
You liked it.
I did. I enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah.
These three films by three female filmmakers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Directed and leads are women. Suncoast, the indie drama with the terminal illness yarn. True story as a backdrop.
This is the coming of age one.
Okay. And Laura Linney, Woody Harrelson, Nico Parker as Doris. It's the Terry Schiavo case going on at the same time. It's in theaters, but be on Hulu by the end of next week.
Indeed.
Argyle. Chaotic. Long. But incredible action sequences, you said. Very good action.
Fun moments, and, you can't bitch about Bryce Dallas Howard. And
as a cat lover, I love
Sam
that.
Rockwell. The cat, Alfie, is, maybe it's a CGI cat. Can you love an AI cat?
Henry Cavill and Bryce Dallas Howard and
Sam Rockwell, Sam Jackson.
You liked the first 45 minutes.
Very much, and then I was like, come on.
Yeah, all right.
And every time I'd kind of pull away, they would pull me back in with a great action sequence.
Wow. Well, so proceed at your own risk. Argyle is in theaters. Michael, appreciate you. You can find Michael in the Marina Times. His musings are there. You can also find him here on Fridays. Michael, we're out of time. Can we talk Niners more in the following week, next Friday?
I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm still exhausted from their come-from-behind victory this past Sunday. Oh, my God. Brock Purdy, the 49er fan base loves you.
He put it on his legs as well as his arm.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you, Brock, and thank you, Mark, Kim, Albert, and the rest of the gang. And thank you, listeners.
Thank yous. Comes and goes on a rainbow. Bye, Michael.
Have a great weekend, and go Niners.
Go Niners indeed.